You are now entering the box. All right, you're here.
I'm here.
We got Kim Staff here on a rare, uninterrupted. We'll see how long she goes before she's got to check her phone.
I don't even have my phone on me, Andrew, so I think I might win this time.
It's all right. I understand being a business owner.
Yeah, it's
fun stuff. Huh?
It is. Hey, if the phone wasn't ringing though, I never complain. Yep. You know what it's like. So
so we just did this thing. It was a SILSA event, and they did a assessment, and you had to answer all these questions, and then it labeled you like all these different like inner critics. And I didn't do the assessment before it started, so then she had us break out into groups, and I just had to guess where mine was, and I went to, what was it? Over higher achiever or over? It was basically like, hold on, I got to tell you what it is. Let me see here. Hyper achiever.
Hyper.
These are all the different ones. Hyper achiever, stickler, controller, restless, hyper rational, pleaser, hyper vigilant, avoider, and victim.
Oh,
and so you have to answer all these
intense.
questions, and then it breaks you down. But it was just, it's
That's
interesting because
cool.
it's like each thing you kind of are comparing with yourself as you know what I mean? But I mean, part of that too, as a business owner, I think a lot of people are going to fall into those ones that are up top right there. You know what I mean? Which I'm sure you can relate to.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. I would be, it's, what it's taking these and having your whole team take them. You really start to understand the importance to learn how, to communicate and to be successful and, leading to communicate with others. So.
Well, I think what was kind of neat about it is I was like, we had a couple of our team there, and I was like, I think like if everybody did this, it would help you understand the other people also.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And something that you might feel, okay, did we not connect on that? It might be totally fine. And then you just, one thing that we're really trying to work on, rolling out as a solution for this year is opening up our lines of communication and how to communicate better with others, and maybe seeing, our people in roles that maybe they would have a better role to be in. And, kind of, it's always a challenging. And I think when you have a lot of people with you for, a decent amount of time, which we're very fortunate at our business, sometimes I think those roles start to evolve too, where somebody was 3 or 5 years ago, you might not be happy, and you realize that they have strengths in better areas, and you kind of just shuffle it around a little bit and, see what works best. So
how has it been? I know you recently took over from the old Pops.
Yeah. Yes.
How's it been? Much different?
Yes. I will be the first to tell you that pre-buyout and transition, I would have thought it would have been easier.
Yeah.
And as more time goes on, it's definitely, it's a different pace. When you're in the mud, you always feel like your direction might be better. You didn't understand why he was doing things he was doing. And now I'm starting to do things my dad was doing. And it's like, oh, wow. Now I see when I thought that was pointless, now I'm starting to see why it was to be that way. I think the most challenging thing, though, Andrew, is I'm in a leadership group, and we meet once a month.
Is it the women's or which one?
No, this is one that meets privately, and I have a job and life coach. His name's Jeff Nelson, and he's awesome. But cool. It's one that he instructs and invited me to be a part of.
Nice.
The one thing I was asked this week was, Kim, do you have a mentor now? And that was just a blanket question, and
because your dad's gone, is it?
But it was actually a really good thing for me to kind of process through. And they go, "Who's been your mentor?" And I was like thinking about it and talking it out loud, and it's like, my dad was my mentor, and I think that's what always, motivated me drove me, to lead a team, to lead staff carpet, to see the directions we need to go. And, over the last year and like 3 months, he hasn't been there, and I kind of have felt lost. And in that moment of that meeting, I've kind of lost a mentor. And, I don't know what road I'm trying to take right now, but it was really interesting for me to understand.
You probably had never thought about it. And then when they ask you, you're like, oh man, I guess I don't really have.
Because I feel like I've just been like treading, and like my purpose recently or before was, okay, like my dad is here and I need to get us with that level and further. These are the directions we need to take. It was that extra motivation to say, this is what I strive for every day. Now, ultimately, being the owner, yes, I strive for that every day. But it's like, there's what am I looking up for? Yeah. What am I? And, I think now I need to retrain my thought as, being here, I believe I'm I classify as like I'm a serving leader. So my mentor is now, I'm going to look up to my team, and that's kind of the thing. I think I need to redirect instead of feeling like I'm just treading water, if that makes sense.
I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And when you do activities and exercises like that, I think it's very crucial because, just how business has been through like the COVID 3 years and everything. It's like, you have to create that purpose. You have to have that vision. And I feel like I hit my vision with the buyout, with that, and now it's like, where do you go from here?
Right.
So
what's the next step or goal?
Yeah.
Do you ever find it hard, like planning for that next step because you're so caught up in just the current business?
Yeah, and that's, I think, what's scary is it's like, what is your next goal? What is the next vision? And, we're launching really big into like design, accessory, and furniture now. And, just kind of, we look at it as the icing on the cake with what we do with the flooring, and our customers trust us.
Yeah, it's like a natural progression, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because, you guys probably, I would imagine every time somebody comes in, they are looking for some guidance from a design standpoint, like what flooring is going to look best here, or what. And when they're updating that room, and the conversations about 4 or 5 years ago became, well, what kind of sofa would you do? What kind of chairs? What would you do on this wall? What would you do on that? And we just started building a portfolio over the last 4 or 5 years, and we realized it was much needed and wanted. And so that vision is another vision that we've been accomplishing. We've got a showroom now, and it's hopefully going to be live by May, but people are going in it now and shopping. But yeah, it's like, what is the next vision? And it's like, I want to grow our team and communication. And, I think the last a few years with what we've all gone through personally, professionally, emotionally, everything, now more than ever, you need to rely on your work family, and it is family. You're with those people more than ever. Yeah. And my vision now is just to create that better team. So I always joke around my team. I'm like, whether you guys like it or not, I'm like, you are my friends. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't get much time with friends these days. Yeah. So you guys are my friends. I'm here with you today.
Yeah. So.
Well, I do want to say it has definitely been awesome to have your support in our business and helping you capture that portfolio to be able to show off and everything like that. It's really been helpful. So I appreciate the business and the support. You always are a big supporter of us, and testimonial, just everything. So I really appreciate it.
You're our secret weapon, and it's like the more you get out there, Andrew, the more I'm like, well, he's ours. No, I'm just kidding. Ubox is ours. No.
Well, when I was talking to your dad at not this last year, but the year before, the Christmas party, holiday party. Yeah. I was like, he almost had me in tears. I was like, oh man, you're making me feel very good.
Well, but it's, being in Springfield, and I mean, you'll know this because of everything that you guys have gone through. It's like the best thing about our community is that our community supports local, and they promote local businesses. They support them. And when you are able to do that and also then see the results of what a business can do, where, we really strive to make our customers' dreams and visions become a reality. And no matter how much I can say that in store, you guys are able to show them for us. And that is the best thing, because HGTV, Pinterest House, they're all areas that guide consumers. But when I have a portfolio that's bigger than...
We've done this.
Yeah, that's bigger than some, it's like, oh no, we do this multiple times every day.
You can trust us.
Look at it. Yeah. And these are live results. It's not something that we're getting from somewhere else. And it's just, it's been coming from growing up, just doing radio and TV, digital, and everything that you guys are able to provide. It's like, it's a no-brainer, hands down no-brainer.
Yeah. Well, especially with, again, the visual stuff.
Yeah.
What I mean? It's great. But I mean, in the end, obviously your service and your product and your expertise has to speak for itself with the client. So don't I appreciate the credit, but don't give us too much credit.
Well, you just all the words you make visual, and your whole entire team, it just makes it's I think with the transitioning, it was the best move we could make in advertising. So
yeah. I appreciate that. How has obviously you guys have multiple generations now. Your grandpa started it, right?
Yes.
How has that been? I know family businesses can be tough, and it puts extra stress on a relationship, between whether it's you and your dad or whatever. How has that been over the years? Obviously now it's probably a little less relieved, more relieved, yes. I guess. But
and these stats are probably 6 years old that I'm going to recite, but a family-owned business going from one generation to another, I think from first to second generation, I think is in the 30%, and then second to third generation was under 10%.
Yeah.
And then third to fourth generation is almost it's very, very minimal.
Yeah, I think I heard one time what was it, 70% of businesses either close or something, by the fourth generations.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but when you actually live it, you definitely understand why. So my dad and my grandpa did not have any fraction of what my dad and I had, and they more butt heads. It was very transaction-like, and just not, it kind of was okay, John, you want it? It's yours. We're all leaving, and left. And my dad had a vision to grow it from, just selling carpet out of a warehouse in a van to what staff carpet is, really where our basis is now today. And if my sister was sitting here, she would laugh too, but the hardest parts of it were definitely in the last 10 years. And when my sister graduated college and I was working at staff, she just really didn't have an interest. It was kind of forced upon her. And I'm very sales driven. I'm very expressive. And I'm very vocal. So I remember just being if she doesn't want to be here, she doesn't need to be here. I'm trying to do this. And, my parents are you're both our kids. You're making, the same amount.
Yeah.
I'm producing sales. She's not. It was a deal. And it came to the point where my dad had to make a tough decision. And my sister was no longer there. And that was extremely hard. But now, my sister is working on getting her nurse practitioner. She has a beautiful son.
Path, yeah.
She is killing it. And if we didn't have that, I don't even know where we'd be at today. But the last 5 years of my career and my dad, it did get to a point where it was really hard to even sit in a room because of the passion we both carried. And I was too immature to realize that this was his identity, and I probably could have been way more compassionate, and I wasn't, and I do regret that. But ultimately now in the place that we're in, it's almost like it all needed to happen this way to be where we're at. And I actually my dad and mom, I've never in the last year and however many months, I mean, it's the best blessing in the world is that I'm able to give them what they blessed me with, just they literally can enjoy themselves because of everything he gave. And I haven't seen my mom and him.
Work.
Yeah. It's, like he's not stressed, and they've given me an opportunity of a lifetime, and I fell in love with it. And now I'm able to let them enjoy the last years of their life. And, but it's not easy. I mean, I think if I had any other family members involved, we definitely wouldn't have had a buyout. It would have been a thing where it would have been, it would have not happened.
I'm always interested about that because it's like, and I think about it with, my family eventually too. Like, how would this play out? You know what I mean? Like, obviously if one is interested and the others aren't, but then there's still that dynamic of like, well, why does this person get in the business? It's like, well, you're not even interested. But no, that's cool. I mean, I appreciate you sharing that. I think people knowing that is, whether they have a family business or whatever it is, understanding that, it's what a lot of family businesses go through. And definitely for me, because again, just thinking ahead of like looking at things and trying to be understanding and, whenever, if ever that time comes. But I mean, it's cool though that you did have a passion for the business. Yeah. Otherwise, you could be in the situation where he was already done and sold off to somebody else, and now it's not even really staff carpet anymore. If you didn't, so that's neat that you did get into that and like it.
I always wanted to go into like business finance. That was like my thought, and when I started working at staff while going to school, it's just like you were doing something different every day, and the trust that people place in you, and then also how happy they are. Like the biggest reward is, what can you do here? And people are allowing you into their most intimate part of their lives, their home, where they raise their family, where their grandkids come, where they start their lives.
None of that, but meeting their kids.
It's definitely the most rewarding thing. And then being able to give back to your community because of it too. Like, we can help out in so many different ways with schools and churches and organizations.
It seems like you guys are sponsoring something.
Yeah,
I feel like I always see your logo sponsor something.
Yeah, no, it's I laugh because a lot of my clients, their kids will just call me Kim Staff Carpet, and it's like, that's my name, Kim Staff Carpet, and it's like, it's just, I couldn't imagine doing anything else. But what I want my kids to do, what I'm doing, I don't want them to ever feel like they have to. And I don't know if that's how my sister and I felt because we were on commercials growing up, but it just stuck with me. And I literally can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah. So. How was that? Did you like being in the commercials and stuff growing up?
For sure. I'm like so dramatic, and it's the greatest. Like, I remember growing up, and we would do the commercials, and my mom and I would be at like the grocery store, and somebody would just come up to us and say, "Oh, Staff Carpet." I'd be like, "Mom, why didn't they ask me for my autograph?" And he's so mad. And my mom's like, "You're ridiculous." And it's like, and it's funny because my nephew has been on some commercials, and when he comes and hangs out with me when he's out of school at staff, "Auntie, why didn't they ask me for my autograph?" And it's like, oh gosh, he is full bred staff. Yeah.
That's
so,
funny.
It's cool because I think the community buys into family business and they support it. And it's fun when people come in and say, "We watched you grow up on the commercials." Mm-hmm. And,
So obviously, like, from being on commercials and then now with like social media and stuff, it's a little bit different, very different world. How has your sister ever like had hesitancy of having her son in the commercial, your nephew?
No. It actually, part of our deal with the transitioning of the business was, if any grandkids if they want to be a part of it, they,
that's cool.
They can't. Yeah. And it's
It's like, all right, let's get him in here, and if he
Yeah.
wants to eventually, then
Well, what he wants to be a firefighter or a police officer, but he's okay doing the commercials for Staff Carpets. So, but I don't think he's ever. I mean, and he's 7, so you
Yeah.
don't know. But
Who knows?
his enthusiasm. I mean, he's got. If you're a born salesperson, I mean, it's in you. You know, my dad always said, you know, I never told Kim no because. I never told you no because that would be the first part of a negotiation. So, I mean, it was, you know, and I kind of see that in my nephew, and it's like, you know, if he wants to be a part of it, I'd love for him to. And if he doesn't, I would support him not to be. But thinking about the next generation for me, it's like, you know, that's a long-winded conversation probably. So,
well, that's cool though. No, it's good that you know, from your experiences, you can be like open-minded about that, and it's nice that you guys kind of had that agreed upon thing.
Yeah,
because it would obviously be neat, but
you just don't know what the future is to come, but it's.
I always joke around. I'm like, my kids don't want to work for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll be working harder for everybody for less money.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I remember like the first 4 years, like working, I was getting paid $10 an hour.
Yeah.
And I was selling, and I was like, Dad, can I at least make
some commission
what
or
the salespeople are making? Like, bump me up to, you know, like $600 a week. And he goes, no, you're going to have to work and earn it. And it's like my work ethic, the whole way I was describing it to somebody the other day. It's like you're almost like a robot, and I'm like, you're the same way. It's like, it's all I do. It's all I know. I'll be going to a customer's house, and I didn't even like feel like I consciously made that decision to go there. It's just, but I love it. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. So
I know it's like one of those things. It's like an awesome feeling, but then you step back and you're like, is this the right thing? Am I supposed to be like this?
Yeah.
That's what today was making me think about when this lady was talking. Her name's Tess with O'Shea, and she gave a great presentation, but it was just like, one thing I did feel good about though is when she broke down all these categories and talked about the negative aspects of those categories. I did several of them. I'm definitely not going to say all of them, but several of them I have recognized as faults in myself, and I have actually been like working on doing better with. You know what I mean? Like the whole the achiever thing. One of the things was said that you would, you know, sacrifice. One of the sacrifices is like even your health, and I'm like, like I don't work out enough. You know what I mean? I realize that, and I've been trying to do better at that. And we, you know, I just got like a home gym and try to make it as convenient as possible. But yeah, it was interesting. It was almost like a psychiatrist, like talking, like, you know, it was funny.
It's like all the sacrifices you're making, and you probably need to pay attention more to those, because if you don't, you're not nurturing yourself as a whole, whole
or
being.
the people around you.
Yeah.
And I say all the time, I'm very blessed to have my wife who, you know, I don't know how anybody starts a business with a kid. I mean, I can understand maybe once you get it going, but like if I had kids when I was starting this, like I would either not have a relationship with them, would be divorced or something, because I'm amazed at anybody that started a business while they have kids. Yeah.
How do you even balance it? But you have to have that strong support system at home.
Yeah.
And you definitely
working freaking 12 to 13 hours a day. That's what I mean. I would, even now, like it's hard because like I want to do that. Like I want to work that long, but it's like, you know, one of the reasons I did the home gym is because in the morning that my plan is to wake up early, work out at home, and then be able to see the kids before leaving for work. Yeah. Because I hate if I don't get to see them in the morning or at night. It like really bothers me.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, trying to find that balance with time and everything, which I know even getting you here.
No. It's one of those things where, you know, you kind of push off things that you push things on for an instant issue right in front of you, or I've got a customer that wants to meet me. Yeah. I can't do that because of this. And, you know, it's things like this. And other things that you need to make sure you make time for, because that can be re-inspiration. It can be motivating. We hosted a brownie troop group at staff yesterday at 3:15, and we did a whole activity, and it was engaging.
It's fun.
And it was like the best part of my week.
Yeah.
And I pushed that off, Andrew, like
let's do that next week.
a couple times. And it's like, no, it's okay, because when you're active in your business and you're working, you're always going to have something to do. You're never going to get caught up. Yeah. And it's like, so managing the madness, I always say, it's like, it's okay, Kim, if you do work out in the morning and you come in at 8 instead of 7. Right. If I don't, it's not good for anybody else around you. If I don't, I only make sure 2 nights a week I'll do physical late appointments, because 4 times a week, it's just, you're back in the building within 10 hours of being there. And setting those little boundaries, nothing, like you're not slowing down. It's just working it better so you can recharge. And it's like, but how do you get that? Like, you have kids, you have a family. It's like, I give props to all my good friends, people I know, because I can't even imagine throwing the family dynamic into this life. Yeah. And people that work and can manage kids and do that, and sports and everything, it's like, wow, I can't complain. I just have myself and 2 dogs. Like, I can't, like, you guys are rock stars. You are inspiration.
Well,
so
yeah, I mean, everybody has their things they got to figure out. That's for sure. I think, like, as they get older, though, it'll be easier. So just be like, just bring them here.
Yeah.
Lock them in a room.
Yeah. Have them play, ping pong or all the cool things you have in your office. I'm walking through your office and I'm just like, staff carpet needs to be a little bit more fun. Like, maybe it won't be as stressful if we just have way cooler things here, like you guys do.
How many people, like full-time people, do you have now?
So we have, I believe, 18, and then myself, and then we have about 15 install crews that are made up of 2 to 3 people.
Nice.
So it's a lot of different personalities and everything to kind of work with.
Do you guys do, like, I know we were talking about, like, random, like, things like those assessments. Have you ever done any like team building things or anything? Yeah, so we had really good momentum with it before COVID and doing it. Yeah. And then COVID kind of hit, but that's one reason why I have Jeff, and this whole year, I got through the buyout, got through the first year of that. My whole thing this year is doing more team building, identifying our personalities, trying to do once a month get-togethers, just trying to work on the culture.
Yeah. And when you go through, O'Shea is a phenomenal organization, and actually the way that they have their building set up is what started to inspire me to really, here's what our values are, here's what our vision is, here's what our mission statement is, and that's something that we're really trying to revamp and do this year, and placing that through our showroom. Cool. And what our core values are. But it's a lot harder to identify all that. Yeah, it's hard than you think. So
yeah, I know we were talking a while back, and we were like, it was something about a mission statement. And someone was like, "What's our mission statement?" I was like, "I don't know." Like, creating stuff and growing businesses, man. Yeah.
And a lot of times that it's as simply that. Like, it's not like, what is your mission? What are your values? And
it's hard to break it down to like a sentence. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, I want to fit so many things into a sentence, but that's something that revamping that is our culture is what we're working on this year.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too, like, it's hard to, as a business owner, or a small business, when you're looking at expenses and stuff, it's like sometimes it's hard to justify like how much does this cost, but it's like then at the same time you're like, all right, that's important. I need to do this.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of moments in the last year where if I would have focused more on this, it probably would have saved us a lot of money and just some decisions that were some bad calls where our installers just charging what they want to charge or overcharging or not collecting money on a certain job and not getting paid. And it's been quite the year. And I think if I would have just even taken once every other week to have those meetings, have those conversations, we would have definitely been in a better spot.
Well, and as you're with that many people, like, you know what I mean? Like we have 10 here, you have 3 times as many people you're dealing with. Like it's got to be so much harder,
Well, it's overwhelming, but you've got to start somewhere. And I haven't started that somewhere. And that's what it's, because our business remodeling and, home remodel was one of the most highly impacted during COVID until like this past July when interest rates and stuff started going up. But you were just kind of trying to survive. I mean, you would have crews calling off. Like it was literally like times that you would never even think would happen.
Right.
And you're just like, how
do we navigate this?
How do we navigate it? But now it's like, okay, if we had better systems and things in place, I can't, but it does seem so overwhelming to where it's like, where do you even begin? But I think that it's kind of like a rebirth for us where it's like, we're ready to start digging at that. And,
and sometimes, like you said, some of those issues, like sometimes that has to happen to make you realize, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
how important it is.
I need to spend more time on this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and it's an ever growing, it's just the expectation level of everything, which makes sense. I mean, a lot's just changed from when I started compared to where we are now. And what, people working from home, it is little things where they're watching installers move their furniture. And it's like when you'd go to work and come home, but it's like, how else do you break a bed down?
Right.
It's
so. Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah.
Well, and it's good because, whether you're spending $1,000, $10,000, $30,000 for whatever it is, it's like we are in your space, and it is good for us to know, or be more aware and take, all those things. But it's also like, there's only one way that this can happen, and we try really hard to give a very realistic expectation because, you've got a 12 by 15 bedroom, move in a bed, nightstand, dresser, laying a big 12. I mean, it's constant challenge. And it's like from the point of the sale to getting the material to installing it, it's just, you've got a lot of moving parts that you just always have to stay up on. And also tell your installers, like, we've done all of it to this point. You're the last point of contact. You're the most important point of contact at this point. Don't mess it up. Like, so it's a challenging, very challenging, ever-changing business. So
yeah, no, I can't. I didn't even think about some of that stuff that you mentioned there, but yeah, I could definitely see that. And the other thing is like, when we remodeled our home, it was before we moved in. Yeah. So I think, like, I can't imagine the stress of living in a house with remodeling. Like your whole bedroom being torn. You know what I mean?
It's probably 90% of our business.
Yeah.
So think about and that's where it's like.
So it's customer service is almost even more challenging because you're dealing with somebody that's under this like stress from their house.
And it's like, and it is a thing where we're humans. We're not, we're not machines. We're not robots. There is human error and everything. But the one thing that I always assure our customers of is if something does go wrong, it's not life or death. And we've got your back, and we'll do everything we need to make sure you're taken care of. but it is, I mean, we are humans. I mean, it's not like buying a car, like where it is literally coming off a truck brand new. It is the biggest challenge in our industry is always laborers. You know, as you know, a lot of trades are really hurting right now because you don't have people wanting to become plumbers. You don't have people wanting to be painters, electricians, installers, and it's like,
which is crazy because really they make quite a bit of money if you're good at what you do.
Yeah. Installers make the most money just about on any job that goes out the door.
Yeah.
And you're just like, if you did it right and ran it as a business and you had a team where you're all kind of sharing the weight of demo and things and investing in your company, you'd kill it. I mean, we're fortunate. I would say 10 of our crews are in their mid to late 30s and early 40s. So we're really fortunate as far as where our crews are. But I remember 8-9 years ago, my dad was like, what am I going to do? There's but you can always find somebody, but it is always, it's the biggest thing in our industry nationwide is the installer shortage. So it's Yeah,
it's interesting like the challenges like different types of businesses have, you know what I mean, when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. It's never changing. I mean, it's like one of those things too. When you guys did this building, you just you have so many elements you're dealing with, and we might be on pace for this date, but then, and we're the finishers. So what's interesting is if you've got framing delay, drywall delay, paint delay.
No, you're delayed.
Staff's delayed, but hey, it's staff's problem. Like no matter all these other delays, we're the ones.
I still need it done on time.
Still need it done. It's like, well, what about you push me for 3 weeks?
Yeah.
You know, we'll do it, but it's just. But what's fun is more people understand it now. COVID really opened up people's eyes that Amazon makes things instant.
Mm-hmm.
You can have it in 2 days. Lowe's, you can have it and you can return it. You know, they changed our society pre-COVID and that we want it and we want it now.
Right.
And it actually has been a huge blessing for our business where in our business, with it being a service and us installing it, it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3 and it's here. So I think it did give the overall consumer more of like realistic expectations of what to expect, at least in our industry now.
Yeah.
So
it seems like it's tried to, what am I trying to say? You know, like I think it's grown awareness of trying to be understanding of situations where like you go to a restaurant, it's like, sorry, we're low on staff, or you know what I mean? There was a lot of situations like that, and I think that it helped kind of people hopefully be more understanding to that, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, but it's well, I couldn't believe with our building here how fast those guys got in here and knocked out all this carpet. I was like, Jesus. And there was a lot of cleanup they did too. It was like 1 day cleanup, 1 day install, and I was like, holy shit, these guys are working their ass off.
Yeah, it's no joke. I mean, they get paid by production, so if they're not, you know, if they're not laying a floor, they're not getting paid. So it's a very interesting. It's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
But
no, they did. I was amazed. I was like,
somebody goes, I want the carpet tile that's over at Ootbox. I'm like, that's only special for Ootbox.
No one else gets it.
Cannot copy it. No, not at all.
Funny.
So,
well, it worked out well, man. I love it.
Yeah, I love. I was saying earlier, I think I definitely want you to come into staff, Andrew, and help us design. And we can
Just
mix
need
orange
everywhere
with the yellow
orange,
and the
yellow,
green.
And green is where
I mean,
it's at.
that would be a vibrant, happy place, wouldn't
Like a
it?
rainbow.
Love it, love it, love it.
No, it is. You guys got a great little showroom over there, though.
Yeah.
I mean, having the warehouse and everything right there, it's a great location. When did because you guys were right by the fair, not too far away.
Yeah.
It was just like a couple blocks over there
Yeah.
across the street. When did that move happen?
9 years ago. Yeah.
Only 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we were at North 5th Street for 42 years.
Is that
I
what
think.
that street's considered? 5th Street right there?
Yeah, across from Gate 8 from the fairgrounds. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So we were there. That was the first location that my grandpa used to sell out of a van, and he'd go to like let's say like the expo building at the fair, and just unload a bunch of rolls, and people would just buy them and carry on. He opened up that location on North Fifth, and then the location we're in came up for sale, and my dad walked through it and just goes, "This is perfect for what we need."
What used to be there? Do you know?
So our showroom was where they did like car repair.
Oh, okay.
So they worked on cars in that whole area. So we enclosed the showroom part in, that was like a warehouse. We closed it all in and made it our showroom, and then kept the warehouse function back there. But it's funny because...
So it was all there, though, pretty much?
Yeah, we did an addition on the back, and then we added like a loading dock and a couple other things. But everything functionally, like my dad had this vision, and he was spot on. The whole... The tour I was giving the Brownie troops last night. No, it totally was functional for what we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems perfect.
Yeah, and I hope at some point, the house that's like right above the hill comes for sale, so we can kind of make that like kind of a showcase house.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and kind of change different things out and take customers through it. They're not ready to sell yet, but hopefully one day. Yeah, yeah.
It's like that house down by Memorial is just surrounded by I think they finally bought it or something, but it's just surrounded by hospitals.
No one's gonna want to live there. No, you just need it for yourself. Yeah,
that's funny. At least they probably know, though. Like, well, I always got a buyer whenever I'm ready.
Yeah. I think they definitely, I don't think those people were happy that we moved in there and not happy with all the trucks that come in. But at some point, we might be able to have first grabs once they leave. So.
Yeah, I can't imagine. That's funny.
Yeah.
Holding out. Carpet.
Yeah.
Just gotta give them some free carpet. Like,
no, I remember my dad asked them like when we first moved there what they'd want, and it was like 2.5 times what like they bought the house for.
Like,
and it's like, we'll just wait this out. We don't need it that bad soon. So, yeah.
So what do you? Obviously, your name's Staff Carpet, but you do way more than carpet.
Yes.
What is the number one product that you sell these days, you think?
Carpet is technically just because of the volume and the square footage amount.
Really?
But
okay.
I would say
surprised.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody wants like smooth floors these days.
Well,
at least in my eyes, I don't know.
They do in your main living space, but when you like your kitchen, living room, but when you factor like the square footage amount of like 4 bedrooms and a basement, it definitely eats
takes
up.
It up.
Yeah, it takes it up. But
I could see that.
The most popular thing that people are wanting to do right now, I would say, is revamp their bathroom, and hardwood floor is coming back. So
people liking the hardwood.
People are liking hardwood. It's like it goes in waves, and it'll be interesting. I predict the boom of what vinyl plank did, and I think kids, everything, all of it has a purpose. But like if you and Jess go to redo your floor, let's say 10 years, you'll probably go to hardwood after you do it again.
Really?
Yeah. So it's kind of an interesting, it's like a circulation or cycle.
Stuff comes back around.
Yeah.
Like bell bottoms. And
mom jeans,
any kind of style,
all of it. Yeah. So, but no, I would say custom bathrooms have been a huge thing. People going back with hardwood. So, but carpet's the number one. And always will
I guess I would never think about that. Because it is nice to have it, in your bedroom or even a living room, honestly. Like when I can lay on the floor and on carpet and watch TV or something, it feels like, because I guess what you would call our living room is hard floor, but we have a rug on it. So you can still like lay on it or whatever. But I just like being able to like lay on the floor and, you know what I mean? Yeah. Whether it's playing with the kids or whatever, it's just so comfy.
Yeah. No, it's, I think carpet too, I think, especially with the different generations, people look at it as disposable. So they're okay spending the money on it. And they're like, if we want to change it in 8 to 10 years, where you invest in vinyl or hardwood or tile, the idea is that you don't want to change it. Mm-hmm. the life that you're there.
Right.
So, but no, it's products always evolve, and tile's been making the biggest comeback. I mean, I've been at staff for 13 years, and tile is the strongest category that it's ever that it's been since I've started. So yeah, I mean, our tile showroom that we have is doubled or almost tripled in size. Yeah, to provide. So it's quite fascinating.
Well, I love our luxury vinyl tile, I guess, LVT, in our bathrooms and stuff. It's so cool looking. Because I mean, we didn't have the budget to buy freaking granite or something.
Yeah,
but it looks, it looks like it or whatever.
I think it looks awesome. I mean, and a lot of times people don't even know the difference.
Yeah.
And you've got, I mean, with an active household with kids, and just, if you want, you know what, our kids are, let's say, heathens, and I just don't even want to worry about it. I want them to live in the house. It's the best product to do. Yeah, it's just it's interesting just how things go in phases. And like 8 years ago, dark hardwood was like the number one wanted thing, and now it's like, how light can you get wood? Like literally, like just throw a stain or throw sealant on it, and that's the color I want, as natural as it can be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all circles. It's very interesting.
How does hardwood hold up?
Well,
It's just, I mean, because I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess it can get scratched or whatever, but it can also typically be repaired easier, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's all based on lifestyle. So if you're gonna be in a house and you've got two labs,
bunch of dogs,
like you don't want wood.
Yeah.
I mean, but like my dog, he's 90 pounds, and then I've got a 20-pound dog. I have wood through my whole house, and I just know, like, if I drop something like a pot or pan, it could dent it. But I say the 5-foot rule. If I can't see it standing up, it's fine.
Right.
It's just like baseboard or walls. Like,
Gets
things can get beat up, but
it's so hard though.
Yeah.
Like after we did our house, and then our kids, they're like beating the shit out of everything.
You're
I'm
just
like,
cringing.
Why is this baseboard dented?
It's like, just let it be. It's like you can't. Because once you repair one, it just goes into more.
Another one.
Until they're older.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
But no, I've been trying to be better about that. I'm so anal about things. As my survey today told me.
Like, that's, yeah. You're very critical.
Controller and critical and perfectionist.
Yeah. But those are good qualities,
They have their positives and negatives. So.
I love it. I want to, there's another personality test that I heard about where they identify you as different birds. And what they do at the organization is they just put how you identified in the offices. So when you come to communicate, okay, so parrot.
Yeah.
Parrot's more outspoken, and like they're a faster processor, foot in their mouth half the time probably when they speak. Where then owl is very observant. And more analytical. Yeah. But that's how they had their team identify. And when they approach them, and then there was like an eagle and like a dove. And, but that's kind of how they classified, so people knew how to communicate within their team, which I thought was fascinating.
That is cool.
It's like the more you can learn about this, I mean, I find it fascinating. So.
Yeah. No, it's, and I mean, honestly, like I don't know. I just like, I mean, the whole reason I even do this thing is this podcast is like I've told people before, I'm like, I'm not making any money off of this.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just kind of fun to get to have the opportunity to sit down with somebody for an hour and just talk to them, pick their brain, how they got where they are, what they're doing, you know what I mean? Find out about their business. And it's just, I don't know. I'm always fascinated. I think it's why I strive if I'm like sitting with somebody that's like 80 years old and I like pick their brain about it, whatever, growing up, what life was like. I don't know. It's just interesting.
Well, we all learn from each other, and, a lot of the best ideas come from collaboration and collectively. And it's like every experience you have with somebody, I think you can learn from it and making an impact. So I think what you do, I'm sorry I wasn't here 3 years ago, Andrew. I mean,
It wasn't quite like this 3 years ago.
Well, I'm kind of like, I
you
wouldn't mind a
been
podcast.
in my office. We would have had this table still, but someone might have been waiting for to eat lunch at it.
I would have been cool with that, though. I mean, I mean, I remember when when we met, and it's like, I think you should try digital, and it's like, yeah, who I have to convince on that is old John Staff up there. That's hard, but I mean, you were ahead of the time for sure in Springfield, and that's what makes you guys so unique. And it's, this to me, walking through your space and seeing how all of your vision has come to light. I mean, it's the most motivating thing.
Nice. Well, I appreciate that.
Well, but it's true. I mean, it is. It's like you're walking through here and you're like, this is why people do what they do. This is why people take risks. This is why, we're partners with you. It's like, it's awesome. And you're investing in your, everything that you do. And it's exciting to see people in Springfield do this because I think it's a great city to be a part of, and it's businesses like you, Andrew, that motivate others.
Well, it's gonna making me blush over here.
Oh, stop! I can't tell with the orange background. I can't see it.
Well, I do really appreciate that because it is a lot, and like I tell my wife all the time, like, I don't pay myself like that much money in the scheme of things, and it's because I try to put it back into the business and the employees, and I'm playing like a long game. Like I'm like I told her, I'm just driving my Camry around over here. Like, I got you the nice van. But the van, I mean, obviously it's a family van and we needed that, but I don't know, as I've gotten older, I guess I'm not as worried about things. I take more from like the business success. Like it makes me it's more rewarding to me, or like being able to give a raise or a bonus or all those random things. I'll tell you what though, the random shit of running a business, you know what I mean? Like when I first got like accounting, for example, when I was doing it myself, oh my god, that shit was terrible.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Getting to hand it off eventually like felt so good. And just little things like that are weird, which hopefully, in a multi-generational situation, some of those problems are solved a little bit. So
so you don't have it on your plate.
All right, to think about, but it's still like, because you have like a CFO, right?
Yep. No, and that's the one thing, and this is where my dad, I mean, and I think it's generational, like the generation my dad grew up in, it's kind of like it was all the weight on their shoulders, where I'm the first to say that's not a strength of mine one bit, and I need to hire, like, my strength is sales, I'm a hype person. I love putting things together, but my brain can't, like, Bailey kills our marketing. And it's like, my brain does not process marketing. What?
I'll be in the commercial.
Yeah, you tell me where I need to be, but I'm like, I don't even have I don't be real now. Like, I don't even have Facebook. Like, I am just, that's not my, and then the books part of it and other things about it, not up my alley. And I'm not afraid to say that. And what has been awesome is that as we grow and evolve, we're able to have those people so we can focus on our strengths. And with that's what gives us the ability to give our customers the best, experience possible. And, like when I'm in financial meetings, I'm just like, no, what did that mean? Like, I don't understand that.
Are we going to be okay? Give me a yes or no answer.
Can you give me the bullet points of what I really need to hear? And then, okay, cool. Let's move on. I'm going to go downstairs and sell something. Great. So
let's keep the money coming in.
No.
Just make sure it's budgeted. Right? No, I try to. Well, I don't know how the old saying goes, but it's something along the lines of like, hire people that are better than you. You know what I mean? And that's what. Starting this, obviously I couldn't afford to hire people better than me, but I try to tell everybody here, like, let me know what I could do for training, or like,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like, I want you to be better than me at this, or you know what I mean, like in their respective
Yeah.
thing that they're doing. I'm like, please make me have to pay you more, because that means you're better and doing better, and we're just overall as a company getting better.
Yeah.
No,
And that's a good feeling. I mean, I know you used to do all of our videos, and we get Mackenzie, and Mackenzie, like what we just did in the green screen room, like she was. I mean, it's like we vibe, and it's
Good.
like, you know, and that's what it's about, though. And it's like, I remember when
It's so hard letting go of things.
Oh, 1,000%. But it's like
and
when
trusting,
you have,
it's like,
but when you've got a rock star like that, I mean, she was like, Kim, snap that finger. I'm like, yeah, girl, let's slay. We got it. And that's what, you know, it's working.
yeah.
And that's got to be
But
like the biggest relief.
Yeah. No, I'm glad. And it's tough when it's not, you know, for some reason, two people don't have that vibe. But it's definitely a stressful thing, because I'm like, all right, Steph and I have a great relationship. I've always been there. I don't want to let those go. Like, I want to make sure it's always good.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, and it's, I think, you know, and having Bailey as a constant too, it's like they just, you know, I laugh because people are like, Kim, that was a cool reel. I go, what? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, Bailey put it together.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, that one that was just posted. I go, Bailey, what did we just post? And she's like, look, and I'm like,
nice.
wow. And then I'll even be like, wow, Bailey, that's awesome. I mean, and half the time it's like, I know, like I share Steph Carpet stuff on my Instagram. It's like, I don't do any, like, I'm sharing it because I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I've never even seen this, you know, and it's, but that's where it's like, you know, I can't micromanage Bailey. Like, nothing would get done.
Right.
And she's kills it at what she does. And our warehouse manager, everything. And it's like, but it is such a relief to just trust people with what you
get a strong team.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's so important. And that's where I think, that's what, you know, that's where the sky's the limit, and you can just keep growing. And like being here, you know, we started this morning at 9 with Mackenzie at the store doing some
been with us
commercials.
all day, baby.
I know. And then going to the green screen, and then this, it's like, I'm glad that, you know, like I said, it's like making time for these things to just, you know, really make you appreciate the relationships, the partnerships you have, and just how important other things are, instead of just, you know, doing what you think you need to do. So
yeah, I know it is hard. You know, I've been trying to. You know, you were talking about processes and stuff.
Yeah.
So last year, and even kind of still right now, but last year we really worked hard on our process and how that flow works to make sure every little thing's getting done. So if we're like, all right, we have to have a site visit. Did that site visit get done? Did it get scheduled? Do we know what we're doing on that site visit? You know what I mean? And then like, all right, now we have all this content. How do we make sure it gets created? And it's just like this whole thing we've been dialing in for like, I mean, you could say the whole time we've been in business, but really the last year and the end of the year before, we got some new software that we've been able to customize. And I've kind of put Josh on it, my COO, and he's just really dove into it and like customized it to like almost exactly what we need. There's a few flaws, but it's like there's always some flaw in software. But it's been really good. The change of trying to get the team to like use it, because you know when you're used to doing things one way, and then you're like, I need you to completely change how you're doing it. That's a hard thing. But I understand at the same time. But it's like, come on, man, we gotta do this.
We gotta do it. We gotta do it. Yeah.
So no, and that, you know, you're talking about the team and everything. One thing that I try to do that's a little weird, and maybe it doesn't matter at all, but I try to never call anybody an employee. I try to always call them a team member.
Correct. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know why. Just I almost even hate when people say like my boss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're in this together.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It was kind of like someone asked me the other day why I don't like put my face out there more, like on like right on the front of the website or anything like this. And I'm just, I guess in my eyes, like it, and I could be wrong, and it obviously works for some people, but I just I don't want to take away from anybody else. Like I don't want it to ever feel like I almost don't even want it to feel like you're working for me. I want you to feel like you're working for the company. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, it does. And I think that is what is so impressive. Like when I read all these leadership books and be a part of like leadership meetings and programs, that is the way of the world now. And that's exciting. I mean, we always run it as, for our sales reps, you get to run your business within our business. You know, like this isn't just about Kim's staff and staff. No, you get to run your business within our business, and we get to do it together. Yeah. And that's where unless you are going to be a one-person show, right. You know, like massage therapists having just their own deal, one-on-one, you know, if you are one, it makes sense, but
it's like one of those things that, like, I could be doing this by myself, and I'd probably be less stressed, and I might even be making more money. Yeah. But there's not the opportunity of growth. I wouldn't have people to collaborate with. Yeah. So it's I think it just depends on what a person's going for. Yeah.
No, and it's
I mean, my wife is a perfect example. A while back, before we had kids or whatever. And even like right after, we talked about her opening her own salon for her, and what that would look like. But what goes into that and the stress of running it and being there and cleaning and employees or even booth rent, like collecting rent, paying the bills, all that stuff. And with us having kids or wanting to have kids, it just was not something she wanted to take on, which is perfectly fine. And she is her own boss now. She just booth rents, and it's a little simpler. But she's there, like, if the kids are sick. Like, she usually handles that. So I get it one way or another. Like, there's some people just don't, they don't want to mess with it. I'll manage myself. Yeah. And it is hard. It's hard to manage people and, like you said earlier, like different personalities and then not only that, but them getting along with each other and working together, not just you with them. So
but it's also the most rewarding thing at the end of the day. And it's like, it's great that, you have peers like you and other people in our community that it's like, we might not be in the same business, but we all kind of have the same vision overall. And we kind of all deal with the same shit, different, but it's it's very similar. And it's like, you just take what you can from, positive people and the leaders that you surround yourself by. And hopefully you take like one or two nuggets from them every time you see them and just, value those conversations, because sometimes it feels lonely. Sometimes you wonder why you're doing it. But at the end of the day, when you see what you create for us and what we can provide for our customers, it's like, well, that's why. Yeah. What we did today with the green screen, it's like, this is why. It's also the most rewarding part too. So But,
well, I know you have an appointment coming up here in a little bit, so we're at about an hour.
I think a little over. Quick, huh? I didn't check my phone once. I don't even know where it's at.
Before we go, one thing I did want to touch on is I hope that people out there understand, but like I think it's important to throw it out there that a lot of the videos we make for you guys. And projects we highlight are like these really fancy like places that are really nice and whatnot, but you guys do anything. Like it's not just all like $1 million houses.
A lot, but the other thing is a lot of the footage that you guys do though, they aren't always. Because Mackenzie's been taking the videos, Andrew. They're not always the touch over here. No. Our whole point is a master shower in $100,000 house or $1 million house is usually going to still be the same cost. Mm-hmm. So, and people want to invest in that in their homes. And my goal is, what we strive for is any person, if you're renting, if it's a commercial space, if it's your first home, if it's your third home, if it's your forever home, you're going to be able to make it your own with Staff Carpet. And, people are like, Kim, can you compete with the big box stores? And I'm like, we're cheaper than big box stores. People they use that as a crutch. Big box stores have set margins that they have to be at. You don't get a personalized salesperson that can tweak it to what you exactly need. And
you don't get a designer.
You also get the opportunity to say, hey, I do need to save about $1,000, and then I can go to bat for you. If you're in love with that floor, I can go to my reps and say, hey, we need a better price. How can we drive it down? And no, so it's not just $1 million homes. It's not just a $500,000 house. It's literally like some of the video footage is a condo downtown on a main floor, and we do everything. And what we're trying to show people is we can do that for you in your space. So let us help you as much as we can, and we're just trying to show people what you see on HGTV actually can happen, and Staff Carpet can help make that happen for you.
Yeah.
So,
and just even with like I said, we didn't have a huge budget, but like our floors look amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The
vinyl stuff, it's like very affordable and it looks freaking great.
Yeah.
So I just thought it would be good to highlight that a little bit, just because I hope that from seeing videos or something like that, sometimes people don't want that perspective to be out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is.
I mean, is it?
I don't know. I just want to make sure that we call them no matter what your budget. Figure it out.
No, we've got in stock. I mean,
You even got like what did I buy stuff for? There was something I needed something. Oh, I think for our kitchen, or I don't know what it was, but there was something that was like in your little clearance area.
Yeah. We've got a clearance. I mean, I want people to know that if there is something they're thinking about that they can do in their mind, we can do that. And it can be, like I said, it doesn't matter what house you're in, if it's a rent, whatever it is, it can be done. And do we get a lot of all of our house redos, videos, and pictures for sure? But it would be impossible for me to get videos and pictures of every single job. I mean, we just don't have the manpower to do it. But so many times we replace just backsplash. People want a rug. Like, if I'm able to do a room of carpet, we're grateful for any opportunity that we get. And
you can also connect. You have a lot of contacts when it comes to the overall remodeling side of, like, not just flooring or tile, but like if they want like a full remodel of a room or something. So
we have a lot of relationships with contractors and stuff, and we try to help educate our customers the best they can when they don't know where to begin. And that's where there's been plenty of jobs where I've walked people through the whole entire thing, and then they don't end up using me, but I still, they're like, Kim, we're so, like, and it's like, no, I'm glad I was able to help direct you to where you needed to go. And, we're here to be your flooring professionals, with a knowledge base, and we process with our hearts and not just our mind, and we care. And that's what makes the Staff Carpet experience, I think, one of a kind. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, let's end on that note.
Thanks,
Thank you for taking the time here today out of your busy schedule. Yeah. Best place to find you, staffcarpet.com.
Yeah,
Facebook,
Instagram,
everywhere.
Facebook, 304 West Browning Road. Now, can we do a mic drop? Boom.
More than carpet.
Yes, I love it. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.